Today, it's a privilege to present to you about the St. Peter Claver Immersion program in Bucaramanga, Colombia. So you're probably wondering where this city is located, because if you're like me, I didn't hear about Bucaramanga until I went there for the first time 3 years ago. So this city is located in a mountainous region of Colombia in the province of Santander, near the border with Venezuela. The city is a modern cityscape. It's often called the City of Parks. It has over 160 parks, and it's located in a very beautiful part of the country. And it has a temperature that ranges around 77 Fahrenheit year round. So not too bad to visit any time of year. The country of Colombia itself is strategically very important, especially for people coming from the United States. It has a very important geopolitical location. It's located at the top of South America, and also in its northern part where it borders Central America, you have the Darien Gap, which is this dense area of rainforest, and it's the only area which the Pan American Highway cannot connect, North and South America, because of the dense conditions. It's also received a lot of notoriety as of late with the migrant and refugee crisis in the Americas. America has a trade relationship with Colombia and a free trade agreement, and there's many goods and services that flow back and forth between the countries, including, of course, coffee. There is strong security cooperation between Colombia and the United States. This really intensified during the Bush administration, and then there's been a lot of support for the peace process in Colombia, which was formalized in 2016. There's strong cultural ties. There's a huge Colombian diaspora in the United States, and many of our favorite entertainers, ranging from Gloria and Manny, A Modern Family, to singer-entertainers like Shakira and Maluma. So there's a huge connection there as well. Colombia is also very important for regional stability in South America. Really, especially since the 2016 peace accords, Colombia has become a bedrock of stability in a neighborhood where there is quite a bit of instability. So, what do I love about this program? This program is intended to give you a 7 to 10 day experience of an intense immersion into Colombian culture through our host, the Society of Jesus in Colombia. We'll be guests of the community of St. Peter Claver School in Bucaramanga, which is actually a series of 3 different campuses. It ranges from primary to what we would call high school in the United States. And we'll also be exposed to other models of education with another model of Jesuit education in the city through Fe and Alegría. There's also opportunities for immersion in the Spanish language, and of course, soaking in vibrant Colombian culture. People will have an opportunity to learn about the importance of coffee in Colombian culture, how its history intertwines with that of the country, and the importance of fair trade. You'll also, because our hosts are the Society of Jesus in Colombia, be introduced to other Jesuit works in the country, including Jesuit refugee services and their commitment to social justice. And then, last but not least, there'll be opportunities to learn about the ongoing impacts of the peace process and the legacy of the Civil War in Colombian society. Now, one of the things I really love about this program is you'll get an intense immersion into the Jesuits' educational work. For those who aren't familiar, the Jesuits are the largest religious order within the Catholic Church, and they're very well known throughout the world for their educational initiatives. especially in Europe and the United States. Many of our most prestigious secondary schools or high schools and universities are sponsored by the Jesuits. But the Jesuits, because of their commitment to the poor and serving those on the margins, have established a different model of school called Fe and Alegría, which means faith and joy. And this is serving the poorest of the poor. It was founded in Peru, and its international headquarters are now based in Bogota. And so you'll have an opportunity to experience a Fe and Alegría school during your time in Colombia. Now, you can't think of Colombia and not think of coffee. Who does not love Colombian coffee? What's interesting is the Jesuits actually introduced coffee to the Americas through a missionary, Francisco Romero, in the 17th century. There's many legends about him. One said that when people would come to him for confession, for their penance, he would tell them that they had to help plant coffee. And as the legend and the stories go on, that helped spread the coffee plantations throughout the country. So during your opportunity in this immersion experience, you'll be able to visit a working coffee farm. You're going to learn about the importance of coffee in the country, and also learn about a project that the Jesuits are working on to establish their own coffee farm in an effort to try and generate income and lift up the lives of the poor in their area. So another issue, because of our close proximity to Venezuela, that will be explored and you'll be able to see some of the impacts of, are the migration and displacement of people in Colombia. So Colombia hosts millions of refugees. The country is estimated to have 6.8 million internally displaced people. And you're going to learn about their struggles for housing, employment, and resources. A huge source of migrants and refugees in Colombia come from their neighbor Venezuela, which is pretty much, for all practical purposes, a failed state. And so you have millions of people flooding out of that country, and it has outsized impact on Colombia and the Colombian people. Colombia has a rich history, but also when you explore any of the histories of countries in America, they're also checkered with unfavorable facts and realities of what happened in the past. So we're going to look at Colombia's colonial history in this program, its impact of colonialism on the indigenous peoples, and also Colombia's participation in the slave trade. We're going to look at the patron of the program, St. Peter Claver, and his heroic work working with the slaves and trying to really raise awareness of the dignity of the Africans who were brought there against their will. We'll also have an opportunity to explore the 2016 peace process in Colombia, which is really received a lot of recognition internationally because of its commitment to dialogue and finding a nonviolent solution to this decades-long civil war in the country. One of the things that I'm most excited about in this program is our host. His name is Father Hugo. Father Hugo is a Colombian Jesuit, but spent many years living in the United States in the Chicago area while he was getting his PhD at Loyola University of Chicago. He has a dynamic personality, he's wonderful with people, and has a strong commitment to social justice initiatives. And he will be our host. I encountered him while he was working with American groups of mine in Europe, and through that invitation, I came to Colombia for my first time 3 years ago. It was the beginning of many trips that have led to this project moving forward. I came to realize that Colombia is a wonderful country, so close to the United States, with so much for Americans to learn and experience through participating in Father Hugo's program. I love this program because it's got so many boxes checked that are important to me. Each experience is customized to your group. So I've traveled myself personally with students from Jesuit high schools and universities, and I've realized the needs of every group are different. So if you want a simple living experience, the Jesuits have access to 2 different retreat centers where your group could have private space and a beautiful experience. But if you're a university group and you would rather be in a nearby hotel, so you have Wi-Fi and other modern amenities, that can be arranged as well. There are so many rich cultural experiences, and because of the program's affiliation with the Jesuits, they have a strong presence across the country, and it just opens up so many doors that would not be open to you if you just came to Colombia on your own as a tourist. I love the emphasis on social justice and humanitarian works, and also the rich immersive experiences that you can have through the varied apostolates of the Jesuits. And last but not least, Colombia is fun. The food is incredible, and there's so much to see. So at the end of your immersive experience, we can arrange for a 2 to 3 day mini cultural experience at the end where you could travel to a beautiful city like Cartagena, which was historically the place where St. Peter Claver worked with enslaved peoples. But you can learn about that and see this UNESCO World Heritage City. Or you can go to the capital, Bogota, and visit outside of it the Cathedral of Salt, or the hot city with many YouTubers and Instagrammers, Medellin, which is become a cool cultural capital of Colombia. So there's so much to do. So I invite you to consider this program and definitely reach out to me if you want to know more. Thank you.